So we have the faucet installed here, and again, I'm going to leave this documentation here for you. And this is honestly, this is the second time we've installed the faucet, but it's the first time I've heard of this manufacturer. We usually go with a Delta, a Kohler, a Moen, something like that, but we found this one installed at our house, and we're thrilled. It's got real high flow to it. I'm going to leave you the documentation that came with it, so that's for you. And then, of course, I'm not sure what this is for, but it's from Weeby, the manufacturer. Also, these were adapters that came with the kit. Sometimes you have a supply line or a shutoff valve down there that is a 1/2 inch, and the hoses on the faucet are 3/8. So these are just adapters that come with rubber washers. You don't need these for anything, but it came with your kit, so I'm going to leave it with you. Additionally, these are spare parts. You can see there's a screw and an Allen key for the handle disassemble. Behind the handle, if you disassemble it in here on the back side right there, pop that little red and blue tab off, and then Allen wrench takes the screw out, and you can replace the cartridge in here, and that you just call wee-wee. They should have a limited lifetime warranty. Don't quote me on that. Most manufacturers will replace parts for the life of the faucet when they fail. But anyway, so there's some screens in here. This is the screen that goes in the spray head. If you unscrew the spray head from the hose, then that screen goes in there. These other two little guys, honestly, I don't know where they go. I had to read the documentation to see what it goes to. But I'm going to leave it with you because that is your, those are your parts that came with the faucet. So I'm going to leave it right up here. Anyways, we've tested it out underneath. Like I say, we've replaced both faucets. Both shutoff valves. So brass craft, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch right there to go over to the Kuno filtration system. And then, of course, that little blue tagged braided supply line is integrated into the Weeby faucet. So that comes with it. So it's tied in 3/8. Then on the hot side, of course, it's a regular 1/2 inch IPS by 3/8 OD or compression. And you can see it's labeled red for hot. And that just goes straight to the faucet. So you can see, if I can get my light up there so you can see, hopefully, you can see there's all the connections. Sorry about the shaking. But that's how the faucet goes together. Everything's just integrated. It comes all in one kit. Everything's assembled. You don't need to do anything except for that large black nut at the top. You just screw it down and you're done. So great installation. But everything's tied in. Hot supply line, cold supply line, the braided hose for the sprayer, all done. So you just tied in down here. There's the weight that holds it together. One thing I noticed at our house, and I'm not sure because I had my kids all plumb with me, and so we put it together over there, and the weight, it fell off. It's just got a little quick clip right here on the right that you pop open, and you can take the weight off. Well, we noticed within a very short time of use that it fell off, and I don't know if it was defective or what. Don't know, don't care. All I know is this one, we don't want that to happen to you because, you know, then you got to get down there and fix it. What we did at our house, and what we've done at your house as well, is taken some 10 mil tape, actually some 20 mil tape, and double wrapped it. Wrapped it around the top, around the bottom, which means even if this clip, if you bump it or whatever and the clip comes loose, the weight is going to stay on there. As you notice, this faucet, and most faucets don't do this, but this faucet, when you pull it down and let go, it pops back up into place. Most faucets, they dangle. If you pull them out and then you let them retract, they kind of just hang down here and wiggle around. That pulls it all the way back up into place. So that's real nice. One thing you do want to keep track of is this point of connection right here, the spray head to the spray hose. Make sure that stays tight. If you ever take it off, make sure it gets screwed back in, because if you don't, water comes out of here, and typically you'll know because water will leak out of here, but if it sprays hard enough, what it does is it goes up and over the tubing, which is hollow. And that tubing goes right down into your cabinet, and then you got a leak underneath, and it begins to corrode things away, and you never know it. So just make sure that stays tight right there. And the way to tell if it's tight, turn the water on, take a look. You know, you got water running right now, you can see. Everything's dry, nothing's squirting. So that's good. A little residual water there. You know, and then it's got a little swivel right at the top there. So it swivels back and forth. Anyways, pops back into place. Like I say, that's your hot side. That's your hot water right now running, which is the one that was clogged. So it's super. And to the back, you know, back is cold, forward is hot. So to the back, you've got cold water. You can see huge flow. I mean, great flow. Most faucets do not flow this well at all. I know, because I set them every day. Even the top brands don't. So this is a high flow faucet. You know, it's probably 2 gallon, 2.5 gallon a minute. I don't know, but just a great faucet. And again, you know, hard connection right there. So it is going to move around because you have a pretty cheap sink in here. This is probably a 22 gauge stainless steel sink. That's a standard sink that goes in. Nobody gets anything thicker than that because they're very expensive. But because, and I'm not going to grab hold of the faucet because I've just put some silicone on it. This faucet, it's so tall, if you were to grab this and move it back and forth, it's going to move the sink with it because this is very thin. Actually, if you watch, I'm just going to knock on it like this, and if you watch the faucet, hopefully, of course I'm moving, you can see that faucet bouncing around. So just be gentle with this. Be gentle with the sink. Be gentle with the faucet. It's only one finger operation. You don't need to crank this guy around. You can take and just push it back until it's there. Don't go beyond that. Don't push it and force it, and don't push it and force it this way. All these faucets, when they're new, you can really just one finger, boom, it's closed. You know, that's all you need with these guys. If this starts to stiffen up, it means the cartridge is going bad. Replace the cartridge. Call us up. We'll replace the cartridge. But don't start forcing it on, because then it just tweaks things around. It does have a foam gasket on the base plate right there. It's substantially smaller, as you can see the stain from your old base plate sitting out here. So this base plate is substantially smaller. It just barely fit over the 2 other existing holes. It's got a foam rubber gasket in there. But we did take some clear silicone and silicone it all the way around. You're not home right now, but you know, 24 hours that should dry, and you're good to go. That repels the water and keeps it sealed. I recommend not getting water up on the top of your sink. I don't know why you would, because it's a top mount sink and you'd be flooding your countertop. But some people like to take this and kind of wash things off, and you probably don't do that. But you do have 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And those holes are subject to leaking. Same thing around the perimeter of the sink. Here, if it's not sealed correctly around and actually glued down and then caulked closed, when you get water out here, if you get enough, you know, it rolls in, gets underneath the cabinet. So that's just a quick, you know, course on, you know, how not to damage your kitchen cabinet. So brand new faucet, looking real good, works great. Soap dispensers existing, we're not touching that, not part of the work that we talked about. So everything's done. Outside of that, this installation is good.